Okay, I think that's better. I think so. I don't know. It keeps like dipping in and out. I don't know what's going on. Like, come on. I thought we had already. Oh gosh. Oh, do that. Huh. I don't know. It's been really weird. Like it'll start doing fine, and then it'll go back to like, actually no, I'm not gonna work. Hmm. So weird. Cause it. Hmm. Let me see. I don't even know how to do that, honestly. I'm so bad at this. Let's see here. I'm sure there's a way to do it. Uh, would that be like the bit rate? Would that be what I would have to do? Or would it? No, no, not the aspect ratio. Uh, um. Oh, thank you so much. Oh, so you can see me. Okay, so you can see me. Am I audible and visible and everything? I just want to make sure because I don't know, like, it's giving me really weird like metrics, but also having some lag. Okay, so lower the bit rate. Okay, then let me lower it really quickly then. Um, okay. Oh wait, let me guess. I have to press apply, don't I? I feel like that's something you have to do. Oh no, wait. Um, what's a good bit rate to have? Because I'm just like dropping it. Hi, Chromatic Mage. It's so good to see you. Okay. I put mine at 4,000. Hopefully that's better. It does say that it's not dropping frames at the as high of a rate, and now it's like green. So I'm hoping that that will do it. So, but hi everyone. Hello, hello. Oof. I don't know why it keeps dipping back down. Like, it'll work fine. Hmm. Hmm. I wonder what it could be then. Hmm. Let's see. Let's see if this helps in any way. Because if not, then I have to check my internet, I guess. Must be doing weird things. Hmm. Well, at least we get to do that fun part in the beginning of the stream of the troubleshooting. Thank you for being so patient. Um, okay, it's no longer red. That's good, I hope. It's green. No, don't go back down. Okay, it's back to green again. Okay. Okay, I think. I don't know. I don't know what it's trying to do. Is it better now? It looks better, sort of, kind of. Hmm. 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 Oh, goodness. Oh, it keeps going. It keeps dropping. Buffy, is it still? Is it? Can you still see it? Or if someone else is in chat, can you let me know if it's still lagging? I mean, yeah, that's true. It is. It's a left Twitch brand. That's very true. Very true. I'm definitely on brand. That's for sure. I just don't know why it just keeps going like down and then like it'll go right back up and stay there and then just like it's like I don't know what it's trying to do. That's so weird. Let's see here. Okay. So you can hear me, but it's the video that seems to be the problem. Well, thank you so much, Igloo, by the way, for helping. I'm trying to see what it could be. I think I might know what it might be. Not 100% sure, but... Okay, let's see if that helped. Somewhat. Did that help? Oh wait, why am I even... Okay. Did that help at all? I'm hoping so. Is it better now, Buffy? Okay, it's not letting me pin stuff now. Okay. Is it better now? Parce que sinon je peux faire autre chose. Okay. Remember when I told you we have a new political party, a fascist one? The guy who started the party is now on the run because he... Seriously? Oh my gosh, that's just... But, like, how on brand is that, though? Like, that's, like, exactly, you know, like, that's exactly what, you know, that's exactly what would happen, you know? Like, I don't know. I don't know what else to say except for, like, I'm not, like, on you? You? The picture looks better, but you are cutting in and out. Okay. 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 So the audio is cutting in and out. Am I understanding that correctly? The audio is what's cutting in and out. Because I can always like change out the something. I don't know. I can always try something else. The guy is a petit bourgeois who had a criminal record doing some didn't expect that he's, I mean, definitely, yeah, like, I don't even know what to say. That's like, that's beyond me. I don't even know what to say about that. That's like, wow. I don't even know. The 74 owners. What? Whoa. That's wow. For $500? Jeez, that's I mean, again, I know $500 is $500. Don't trust me on it, but like, someone's life is definitely not worth, you cannot be reduced to a value, right? And especially not one of $500 now to have to be, but I don't even know what to say. Perhaps I misworded that too. Just like, I can't even imagine, like, it's not even, yeah. Like, I can't put like $500 for yeah, I don't even know what to say. Like, I mean, what could they even do, right? Like, what could he even do at this point? Like, I mean, he's on the run, but I mean, it's not like he can really go anywhere. I think it's more stable now, I want to say. So, are we good, or... Hi, Anita. It's good to see you. So, does this... Oh, good, good. How's work? Or how was work, I should say. So, what do you think of this color? Does it look good on me? You can say no. Since 3 a.m.? Oh my gosh. That like takes me back to like when I would have to cross the border at 3 a.m. every single day. He already crossed 2 countries? Oh, well then, I don't even know what to, I just can't believe, I mean, like, it just seems like, I don't even know what to say. Like, him being petit bourgeois, he went to Serbia, then to Bulgaria, probably moving towards Turkey. Oh, well. I mean, it's very red. I think you're more of a maroon burgundy. I usually go for more of a deeper red. Black. Well, I've never tried it. Like, I'm trying out these different colors to see if they look good. So, so I tried this one. I have another one that's like more like this color. And then, my usual, which is like, but I don't know. I definitely could go for but I just have never had black lipstick before. I have to go get some. I also have never seen it sold like at the store, but I don't know if that's just because I go to some, moving towards Turkey. But yeah, like I just to go from like, committing like, like white collar crime to suddenly like have a warrant outstanding for someone, for 2 people. Hi, Moni. It's so good to see you. Hello. NYX Professional Lingerie XXL. Crossing the border daily. Yeah, I used to have to cross the border like every single day for a while. Because I would go to school and then my parents would work in the U.S. but we still live, So every day I would have to wake up at 3 in the morning, get dressed, go, like we'd have to wait, because the thing is like if you live in like in Tijuana, for example, like right here, right? Oh, you can't even see. Never mind. Let's go over here. If you go like right here, right? You can cross into the U.S. And even live live in Mexico, but the queue to actually get into the United States is like 3 to 4 hours long. So yeah, like I mean, even I'm just like I don't even know what to say. Like that's just like beyond. Especially because it seems to be like an interpersonal dispute, right? Like it's not like, oh, it's against someone who's from like a different party, or you know what I mean? Like it doesn't seem to be, at least from what you've told me, right? Who were tipped by the girl's father. Oh, I see. Jeez, like I don't even know what to say. I mean, just like I just don't even know. That's just a wild story. So in a second we're gonna be talking to Talorks, so I better shut off the music, I guess. But welcome everyone. I apologize for all of the like troubleshooting I had to do, but I don't know. It's still not like 100%. Like it still is like going all over the place, but I'm hoping that it's okay now. I don't know. Yeah, like I don't know what it's doing. It just like keeps going. Is it gonna let me pin? It's not letting me pin stuff either. That's weird. Okay, well then I guess I will call Tal, so I'll be in just one quick second. Okay.
Let me get my camera on. Okay. Let me go here. All right. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you just fine.
Awesome. Good shit. Okay. Let me just pop you out and pop you on to the big screen here.
Let me see.
Oh, there you are. You're already on here, but my shit was in the way.
Okay.
Okay. Cool. I'm going to, this might be fucking weird if I do that, hey? Because then it's just reflecting back you. So I'm going to put my second camera on, just like it's going to show my room, but whatever. Okay, there we go.
You mean you don't live at the top of a temple?
I don't, no. Like, I'm not physically in a church or anything right now, I'm not as able to teleport as I may make it look like I am on stream, so that is kind of all right. I'm kind of lying when I fucking transport. I hope people understand that I can't really teleport. Okay, is my camera really fucked up on your side? Does it look okay?
It looks fine to me.
Okay. Okay, good. It's just a weird angle. I had to move it. Okay, good shit. All right. Welcome. Would you like to introduce yourself to the lovely people over in chat that may not know you on my side here?
Yeah, of course. So I'm Shakespeare, and I'm a cultural historian, PhD. Particularly emphasis on, or rather, my particular emphasis is on Jewish history as well as Latin American history. And I do a stream where I talk about history, about Jewish history, as well as particularly Mexican culture, and lots of talking about food as well as other stories. But yeah, other than that, yeah, what's up?
Yes. Well, fucking absolutely fucking amazing. I am going to put this in chat. I think I fucked it up. Oh no, that worked. Okay, there we go. Fucking yes, make sure to go follow Shakespeare. Absolutely fucking amazing streams. fucking, if you actually want to learn things from somebody who actually knows what they're talking about, go on over to Shakespeare. It's a fucking great time over there. So I'm super, super excited to speak with you again. Um, we got a pretty cool and interesting topic, I think, today. And honestly, is becoming more and more, I don't want to necessarily say important, but I think important and prevalent in today's recent times, with what's
Mm-hmm.
going on in Israel and Palestine and that type of stuff with Zionism um, and discussions of that. We won't really get into in detail or anything like that, but I think there is some level of importance to our discussion today, especially with topics that are going on now. But so I guess the main thing that do you want to talk? I guess I'm sorry, I'm not really sure how to introduce this properly. Uh, so before we started this stream, you sent a book that we both read through before this that we're gonna kind of touch on.
Mm-hmm.
And can you kind of give an overview of just like a super base level overview of kind of um, the book and kind of like not necessarily the book, but like what we're going to talk about today and the main points of that book and yeah, the main thing.
Yeah, so like the main thing that that the book that I had shared with you sort of speaks about is talking about common kind of um, actually taking the postulations, right, that Christianity has about when it comes to like basic tenets, right, particularly when it comes to say the Messiah, and trying
Mm-hmm.
to actually give a Jewish response to them, right? And I think to me that's a little bit different from a lot of from a text that just sort of talks about Judaism as almost an anthropological thing, like something from the past, and then Christianity just appears out of nowhere. Instead, actually looking at it from a contemporary Jewish view, trying to like actually ask, and I think it's important that they do it in the way of questioning, by saying, why isn't that you don't believe this? Why is it that you don't, right? Because
Mm-hmm.
that's, I think that's a, I think it's a good format, right, to actually answering a lot of questions that people have, both because it is a Q&A, but another thing too is that it also allows for the explanation of Jewish theology to come out, which I think also presents a good.
Yes. Can I share the PDF in your chat?
Oh yeah, of course.
Okay, here's the book that we're referring to. It is called "The Real Messiah: A Jewish Response to Missionaries" by Aria Kaplan.
Hmm.
Um, is the book, and I very much enjoyed it. I read it like one and a half times. I didn't get through it again the second time, but it was really good, and it is reminiscent of another book that is kind of similar to it that I referenced in our chat before, and I've talked about on stream a little bit. Let's Get Biblical by Rabbi Tovia Singer, where the first chapter talks about Jews for Jesus and trying to propagandize that's what a lot of this book as well is about is trying to propagandize to Jewish people to sell them Christianity, to try to get them to believe that Jesus is the Messiah. And one really interesting quote that I thought from or sorry, one thing that was from the book in regards to the number of people is that according to recent Gallup and Harris polls, there are over 70 million born again Christians in North America, many of whom are convinced that in order for Jesus to return the Jewish people, must first be converted to Christianity. Christian denominations such as Southern Baptist Convention, the Assembly of God, and others contribute over 300 million annually to aggressively evangelize Jews. These evangelical Christians have established special Hebrew Christian synagogues, in serious quotes here,
Hmm.
to attract Jews. Such, once again, in big quotes, synagogues have grown in numbers from 20 to nearly 500 in the last 30 years. That's from page 55 in that book, if you guys want to look with it more. but like this is a big thing and is a super large movement. And can I show you this? I'm gonna screen share here. This is from Let's Get Biblical. This is taken from this is taken from uh, a Jews for Jesus pamphlet or some shit. It's a Messianic Soul Winners card. Have you seen this, Shakespeare?
I have only seen it in particularly this context, but yes, I have seen
Mm.
soul winning when it comes to the fundamentalist Baptist church in particular.
I think this is such a like a brilliant way of laying out this shit and like in terms of like this is their propaganda and it's just so blatant here. Yo,
Right.
become a Jew as to the Jews, and that's something that I don't know how much you want to get into Paul, but maybe we can get into Paul a bit. But Paul was the ultimate flip flopper. You know, to the Gentiles, I become like the Gentile. To the Jews, I become like the Jews. You know what I mean? Like fucking change your shit, change your message, change your shit depending on who you are around. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
And they of course quote that. But here, uh, so do say Messiah Yeshua, Messiah Jesus, and the Messiah. Don't say Jesus Christ. Say Messianic Jew or completed Jew or fulfilled Jew. Don't say convert. Say a Bible believer, not a Christian. Fucking come to a meeting of Bible believers. Don't say come to church. Second part of the Bible, New Covenant. Don't say New Testament. Fucking tree, execution stake. Don't say cross. And then they have the explanation on why a bit down here and shit. But like that is so fucked. Like that's just like what are your thoughts on this?
One of the first thing that comes to mind is actually, if I may just comment on the last thing about about the tree, is that that's actually an
Yeah.
interesting aspect that Bible believer sounds so yeah, I know, Buffy, I know. It just is that the idea of it being a tree is actually something that goes back to even one of the texts that we have in Anglo-Saxon, right? One of the or Old English, right, of 1,000 years ago. Um, is this called the Dream of the Rood, and it's literally talking about Jesus being on a tree, right? So that conceptualization of it being a tree actually does go back much farther than people might think. It's not just a contemporary or modern idea that exists with that. So in that sense, there is a history of people thinking about it as a tree. Um,
Mm,
now,
mm,
as for the rest of it, I mean, this is precisely what comes to the fore when you are dealing with uh, particularly people that again are trying to convince, and this is where like the term Judeo-Christian comes out of, right? It wasn't
mm.
formulated as a way to bring together the two faiths as though they were co-equals, but rather as a
Mm-mm.
way to make it seem as though, well, you already believe in all this, you should be able to make that jump into Christianity. And so that
Mm,
is precisely what this
mm.
language makes me think of, right? Of these usages of language, so that then people can co-opt or at the very least try to claim even more of the Jewish heritage, right? That comes with that, and try to claim it as their own,
Yeah.
especially.
Absolutely. Well, and I remember the last time we spoke, and I think like one of the things that really spurred this is I said Messianic Jews and referred to it as just that and didn't clarify that I just meant fucking Christians of like Jewish heritage who still keep the words, and that was something that we spoke with. I think that Katie came on and we spoke about
Mm-hmm.
that a little bit, and that was super interesting, and we kind of talked about that a bit. And honestly, I think that it's super fucked up in which everything you said, but like just from like a cult looking at perspective in terms of like changing language. And I know it's you could also say, oh no, that's just marketing, you know, changing your language to better appeal to your target market. But like, does that not kind of show like kind of like the manipulation of like marketing as well? Like, if you think that's just marketing, like I feel like it's trying to manipulate people into, like tricking them essentially into becoming Christians, out of their shit. And we can talk about Isaiah 53 and shit in a bit later if we need to. But I think that's the ultimate one that really gets fucking people. But I think that it's super fucking weird, and like the rechanging of language there is really fucked up. And I know that's a sales tactic, but the fact that you need to come at this as like a sales tactic, I think is kind of weird, champ. Yeah,
Oh
I
yeah,
think it's
for
really fucked
sure. I
up.
mean,
And
and in
and it plays to the roots of. Sorry, I just want to kill you this because it might further give you something to talk about here as well.
mhm.
I think it plays to the roots of Christians trying to historically convert Jews, either by death or like thought, like forcefully.
Right, right.
It's a dark history.
Yeah, very dark. And in fact, to in fact sort of speak to the first part of that is just what I always say is like look at how the person, right, that is trying to do the convincement, if I may use a historical term for conversion, right, is doing, right. They're winning souls, right. Like
Yes.
it's not someone who
Mm-hmm.
becomes, as it were, co-equal. It's like they're collecting, you know.
Mm.
And
Yeah.
that makes it
And they
even.
call Pokemon demonic.
Very true, very true. Yeah, Pokemon, Digimon too. Apparently, I read an article that
Yeah.
mentioned Digimon too. And
Oh yeah, I
so,
grew up with that shit. I grew up being told it was demonic. I had to hide my Pokemon cards. It's a
oh
long
my gosh,
story.
that's hilarious. And
Oh.
so, I mean, um, so that's what comes to mind, right? Is the fact that what it means to the person that's trying to do the convincement or the conversion, right? It's that they are willingly trying to, one might say, either um, market or confuse or
Trick.
deliberately, yeah, right, exactly, right, deceive or whatever you might want to say when it comes to
Deceive is a good word.
yeah, when it comes to something like that, especially again, it also again, remember, it should serve to remind us that the relationship is not one that's co-equal, right?
Mm.
Like that is the relationship of the Christian missionary, right? Is that they usually represent, and this is true around the world, right? Like an imperializing, colonializing person, right? And so it kind of becomes really apparent when you sort of see it in those terms as well too.
Mm. Mm. That yeah, that is, and I do want to, and I believe that like I'll be able to very much substantively prove this throughout this stream. But my stream title is a little provocative, but I think it works: conversion and religious perversion. And I think that there is a lot of purposeful trickery going on, especially with how verses are read or which verses are read and the context in which they read them, and hoping that people don't understand fucking that they don't understand the Hebrew and those things, and they can trick people with shit. So I think that there is a lot of trickery instilled in this, but also I do want to say that chat is saying that I have not dedicated enough of the stream to the Lord, and they are saying that I need to do a holy dab. So I do apologize for the quick pause here, but I'm not playing music if you want to speak with that. But I am listening while I take this fucking dab. I'm sorry.
Oh, no worries, not at all, not at all. In this stream, however, we worship our Lord and Savior Henry Kissinger, of course.
I was literally fucking rest in peace. God damn, let's fucking go.
um, and so
Lord and Savior.
yeah,
Uh,
when it comes to the second part of what you were asking, when it comes to again like usage of other tactics as well, right? And I think that's a good way of describing it. Is it's a tactic, right?
it
Is
is.
that is that in particular when we talk about the history of again forced conversion, it also interestingly enough brings us to the fact that conversion is never enough, right? Like that's always been a thing when it comes to the history of the Jewish people, is that even when you had the conversions
Yep.
in Spain in the late Middle Ages and in Portugal as well as in other places, it still wasn't enough. They still found a way to say, even if you convert to Christianity, there is something about you that is immutable, right? And that's something that, and again, as a kind of premonition to what we will discuss later with Paul, like Paul mentions that Paul is talking about that too, like um,
Yes.
this strange relationship between the two things when he's talking about the idea of like grafting onto the tree, right? Um,
Yeah.
so again, this is why the history of the conversion, particularly forced conversion or deceptive conversion, is one that does have a long history. And again, it usually does not mean that there will be, it's not as though it's some kind of reward, as much as people like to frame it that way, because historically, both in Germany in the 20th century and even in other countries in Europe as well in the 20th century, as well as in the past, just a simple conversion has never been enough, right? There's always a desire to, for some reason, epistemically or ideologically, to continue to count people as being Jewish. And not only that, but doubt the validity of their conversions regardless. So it's a, yeah, it's Pyrrhic either way. So,
Absolutely. And you see it even with the earliest of church fathers, and you see it very heavily with like Martin Luther and some of the most horrid, most anti-Semitic, awful things that you'll ever hear. And a lot of like the conversions were exactly that. Either they were, like for the most part, it was exactly like you said, they're still Jewish regardless, and that's not really going to do much. Like it's not going to do much, but hey, it's better than not having them converted. Like fucking absolutely horrible. And then I do have this here as well. This last little picture here. Uh, this here is from a training manual. Uh, this here is from a training manual for Jews for Jesus. It's what is the purpose of this training? Once again, both of these are from Let's Get Biblical, Volume 1. Um, the purpose of this the purpose, is that how you spell purpose? I don't know how to spell. The purpose of this training is to show how to help your Jewish friend to pray with you to invite the Messiah into his heart and life. How can you help your Jewish friend to pray with you and invite the Messiah into his heart and life? All right, A. All caps. You must know who the real soul winner is. The Holy Spirit. Ruach Kodesh. HaKodesh? Am I saying that right?
yeah, HaKodesh, yeah.
You must understand your Jewish friend. You must avoid that which will keep him away from the Messiah. Like, what is that? Like, what does that even mean? You must emphasize that which will draw him to the Messiah. Like, these are all the techniques, and these are like the steps on like how to like overt and obfuscate and only focus on the things. You must create an interest in spiritual things. You must make him want what you and others have. I just released a video on YouTube, and I'm not trying to self promote it. It's fucking about cults, like what is a cult and how do they recruit and the steps of indoctrination and those types of things. And step 4 is sell, sell, sell. And it's essentially like everyone around you is happy. And we were taught this as Christians, and Mormons and Jehovah's Witnesses and everybody. They have this whole like you are the light of God. You need to show that in public. You need to always put on that face of like this has changed your life. And then if you're a mess at home, who gives a fuck? Like as long as people don't see you. You know what I mean? And to see it so like weirdly clear here with that you must make him want what you and others have. Is just like all I think of is, oh yeah, that's an indoctrination step of fucking put on the mask of the group to sell the illusion. Like that
Mm-hmm.
just it's just so weird. It's just such a weird way to put it. You must clearly explain the plan of atonement in the Messiah. Um, Maybe that would be effective, but do you know if any like well-educated like fucking like Jewish students and stuff at Like you went to a yeshiva, correct?
Yes, I did.
Like, do you think anybody who like went to school with like those types of teachings and shit, like and actually kind of like know what the fuck they're talking about? Do you think clearly explaining the atonement of the Messiah? Do you think that that would do anything?
I mean,
Like, do you,
I don't think so. I mean, at least just off the face of it, no, because our understanding of the Messiah is one, like, the Messiah is not in a hurry. That's a very different thing from
mm,
Christianity, where it's like, oh, the Messiah, we need it to come right now, like any moment.
mm,
Whereas, I mean, even Maimonides does in this very way. It's like, though he may tarry, right? Like, oh, he's gonna be like smoking weed every day and be like, who knows? Like, we never know, right?
yeah.
So it's a very different relationship to the Messiah, right? So it's like
Mm,
you can talk about this. Another thing too is the Messiah or Hamoshiach in Hebrew. It's like it's not as like this all-encompassing. Oh, everything is gonna be whatever. It doesn't exist in that same way, right? Like it's not like this. I don't want to say like well I guess I'll just say like this almost like orgiastic kind of idea of like or that at some point there will be this you know judgment, right? And that somehow it will be this
mm.
I don't even know how to explain it, like in one sense, like again,
It's
because
an apocalyptic text, like are we talking like referring to like Revelation and like the second coming of Christ. Is that like what we're referring to in particular? Or,
yeah, I
like,
mean, I guess in Jewish theology, like the Messiah is so human, like he doesn't have to be born of a virgin, half God, or
mm,
fully God and fully
mm,
man, right?
well, the born of a virgin is maybe we'll come to that in a bit. Is definitely a another very clear example of them purposefully manipulating and distorting text and praying that you don't understand the real words that are there. And the real context of things solely to sell you on this. And I feel like a lot of them know goddamn well what they're doing. Like, with the whole like born of a virgin thing. But that's we'll get to that. We'll get to that. But yeah, there's just a bunch of different things here. You know, you must show him how to pray and invite the Messiah into his heart and life. Um, which I think is pretty fucked up. Uh, how can you understand your Jewish friend? What your Jewish friend, oh, all caps, what your Jewish friend doesn't want and doesn't know. Okay, Jesus Christ. All caps, he has no desire to become a Christian, a goy, a Gentile.
Hmm.
Fucking, so like I don't know, like I don't know how could they get more clear. They're putting in all caps. Like they're going MF Doom style on this shit. Fucking goddamn. Fucking just straight up supervillain shit. Fucking like they know that what they're doing they don't want.
Hmm.
They do not want this. But we want this and we need to fucking trick them into it. Like that's so fucked to me. I don't know.
Well, I mean, I think that sort of goes with that. Again, how we have to see it as a because especially since Christianity is right linked with capitalism, right, colonialism, imperialism, and also by even more than that, white supremacy, right? It needs to be understood when they're using this language and saying this is like there would be other, even if you were to look at other ethno religious, constructions, that we would call cultures, etc., right? Like Jewish people, like many other groups, right? Nobody wants to have to give up who they are in order to become accepted, right?
Mm,
And so and it's interesting because the whole point is not that they themselves have come to the conclusions of Christianity, but rather that they are already in the situation where they don't even want that, and this is trying to create the conditions to right expedite right their conversion, right? So it's already foregoing right that person's boundaries, um etc., right? So it's already showing that this is meant to transgress all of these things, right?
mm.
It's meant to look at a person as I would say almost a sort of fetishized object, right? That they're again
Yeah. A soul to be won.
Yeah, a soul to be one. Yeah.
They are commodified to solely that. A soul to be one. And the very, very structure of this is to try to obfuscate the fact that they are changing your shit. You know, like you said, like nobody wants to feel like they have to change who they are to join the group. Oh no, you don't. It's Jews for Jesus. You're still Jewish. It's we're still gonna call it a synagogue, but it's Christianity. You know what I mean? Like, but it's just
Hmm.
like it's a completely different thing. But we're just gonna change the words to make it seem like you're not giving up that, but you are. You know,
Right.
it's trickery. It's doublespeak. It's changing the words. You
Hmm.
know, weird. Um, even like this, yeah, like C is really like fucked up. Like I don't like the framing of like that. Um, but yeah, they think that means converting and changing religion. It means giving up the wonderful Jewish heritage and no longer being a Jew, which I think I I think that that's fucking like you are converting. You are converting. Like it is a different religion.
Hmm. Well, not only that, but historically speaking, I mean, if I may just use the example of like the Inquisition, right, of which there were many,
Absolutely.
but like in that one, people were policed to the point where even their behavior was policed. So even things like, oh, they wash too much. Like, oh, why do they always wash their hands before
Mm.
eating? Oh, well, that's
Eh,
because they're actually Jewish and they're hiding it and blah blah blah. It's like all of these things function in
mm.
this in these logics of white supremacy and these also Christian logics as well, as to try to again change the person completely. I mean, there is a reason why as well. There was this belief that you know I mean there this is a phrase, right, that actually was believed, right, that it's like, oh well, you could wash, right, the Ethiop white, right, as if though
Mm.
that were true, but the washing is baptism, right, like literally changing something from something else to something else, as though that were true. And the reason why I focus on that particular phrasing is because that is what a lot of critical race studies and scholars have focused on historically, where that biblical aspect and the racial aspect come together, especially when it comes to those types of understandings of like, well, why is it that now you have in England these phrases about the washing itself, removes, XYZ, right?
Mm.
And then you eventually see like the rise of chattel slavery in the English colonies, right? And it's first justified upon religious grounds and then upon racial grounds. So, but going back to the Spanish Inquisition, if I may, just for one quick second, is that
Yeah, no, of
again,
course, please.
is that everything was meant to be changed. Everything, from the way how you ate, from the way how you from the way how you spoke, from the way how, again, you behaved in your everyday life. So
Yeah.
there's already a long history of this, and there's already a history of this even in the 20th century as well,
Mm.
and it's
Mm-hmm.
still found all the time. I mean, you will always find this when it comes to like anti-Semitic ideas of Jewish people, but
Mm.
even in what you've just told me fits within those understandings too. Like, well, it's under the anti-Semitic belief that like, well, and this was, as it were, like the Christian understanding, and that is that Jewish people denied Christ, right? That like they are
Yeah.
actively, yeah. Mhm.
Yeah, and the charge of deicide
Right.
as well cast upon them. And one of the best books on it's an amazing book, a horrible book, like very well written, but like the things that it contains are just horrifying. But an amazing book. It's called Holy Hatred: Christianity, Anti-Semitism, and the Holocaust by Robert Michael. If anybody needs access to it, let me know. I can help you find it. It is an amazing book, and it goes from like the early church fathers up until like the Holocaust, and that influence that it played, and kind of until now a bit. It kind of hints at showing like how this shit still continues and the things that we need to watch for. And you see it here on this same thing here, point E. So-called Christians, finger quotes, have always persecuted him is an objection. What do you mean so-called Christians have always persecuted him? Fucking historically, Christians, not so-called Christians, not finger quotes Christians, legitimate Christians, the ones who weren't murdered for being heretics, so like the church ordained legit ones, very much persecuted Jews throughout history. And once again, Holy Hatred, Christianity, Anti Semitism, and the Holocaust by Robert Michael is an amazing book. It goes over all this shit. So like I think framing this as like so-called Christian persecutions is like one of the most fucked up. It's so fucked up framing wise.
Hmm. Well, I mean, and not only that, but it also already creates this idea of the Jewish person being like, well, one, they are just reaction, like essentially they are just reacting to this perceived threat, right? And what you have to do is show that they're actually good ones and bad, all right? It's like in my view, it's a very condescending way to think about Jewish people, right? It's essentially like they don't know that they're actually are we're the good Christians and they were attacked by the bad Christians, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So it's condescending on those grounds. Another thing too is again, it puts them in and this is again what this idea like, oh well, they reject, again, this is how it was traditionally said, like the Jewish people reject, right, in the present
Mm-hmm.
infinitive sense, right, that they are
Mm-hmm.
doing it in right now, even in the present
In the
sense.
face of evidence, they say no, kind of like a
Hmm.
horrible fucking, and they make it seem like it's like a choice that's like no, actually there is no evidence and it's awful fucking and like you're kind of a piece of shit for coming in here and doing that and have been used to like persecute them in that sense
Right,
very much.
and again, like it's important to note that like they're actually saying there was persecution, but it would have been different if we would have been in charge, right? And it's
Yeah, yeah,
like
yeah. We would have persecuted you with fucking more Hebrew sounding words.
yeah. So again, like
Uh,
that's one of the main things that when it comes to again this framing is that it's framing it as um they think of themselves as a victim, but they're not actually victims, right? Like it's this really
mhm.
strange type way of thinking about that, and it also denies the fact, one historical or fact as well. So again, when people want to start the beginning of the church, or when they want to say, oh well, this is when the not real Christians were in charge, and this is when the real Christians were in charge again, that's for any ecclesiastical authority to decide. But again, looking at it from a Jewish person looking towards that, right away it immediately, again, like this is why I'm saying like we have to remember the power imbalance that exists um, when it comes to the people that go out soul winning and everything, right? Is that they have all of the institutional power behind them.